There's more to imagine when you listen. So let your imagination soar with Audible. Audible has audio titles from every genre that will inspire you to imagine new worlds, possibilities, and ways of thinking. As an Audible member, you get to choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog. Enjoy an exciting reawakening of a beloved classic with the Audible original, David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. Produced by Academy Award-winning director Sam Mendes. Starring Ncuti Gatwa, Helena Bonham Carter, and Theo James. This adaptation breathes new life into a familiar tale. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500. That's audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500.
Worried about letting someone else pick out the perfect avocado for your perfect impress them on the third date guacamole? Well, good thing Instacart shoppers are as picky as you are. They find ripe avocados like it's their guac on the line. They are milk expiration date detectives. They bag eggs like the 12 precious pieces of cargo they are. So let Instacart shoppers overthink your groceries so that you can overthink what you'll wear on that third date. Download the Instacart app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders, while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply.
Canva presents your work horoscope for this week. Deadlines are in retrograde, which we all know can bring some intense energy. Our advice: fend off this forecast with Canva. Like Canva whiteboards to counter creative blocks, and Canva docs for clarity in communications. If you have any sales deals coming through, results will be in your favor with Canva presentations, manifesting many wins for you. It's a great week to love your work at canva.com.
Welcome to How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine, the show that teaches you how to survive the stuff that can kill you.
Like getting lost in a swamp, or inhaling gas fumes, or alligators.
I'm scared.
They're very scary.
And the stuff that just makes you wish you were dead.
Like your boyfriend making the news, or tying your shoelaces together, or improvising wrestlers.
Thanks, I'll pass. What I won't pass on?
Our theme song?
Correct.
Let's do it.
Ground is shaking under our feet. Mountains on fire, flooding in the street. Can't breathe the air, can't fight the feeling. Gobbling down Xanax ain't the way to be dealing. Gotta do better than just getting high. We gotta stick together if we're gonna survive.
Welcome to How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine. I'm Danielle.
I'm Kristine.
And Kristine, how are you today?
I'm good. It's afternoon.
Yes. So a rare afternoon record.
Yeah, we're not going to have alcohol in this one.
No. We had a very fun, our first Patreon episode. We recorded the other night.
It was fun.
It was super fun.
We all got a little tipsy.
We did get a little tipsy, but I want to use this opportunity to, I felt like totally sick the next day.
You did?
Yeah, I'm so old. Like, I just can't drink anymore. Maybe it's because I hadn't had dinner and it was canned alcohol.
We stopped at Panda Express.
Oh, you did?
It was my first time eating Panda Express, but it was the only...
Your first time ever?
In my life, yeah.
I don't think I've ever had anything but the egg rolls, which are horrible.
We had like bowls with rice and vegetables, and then and orange chicken on top, which you wouldn't eat, but you could have gotten shrimp. But we since we carpooled together, we got off at my exit.
Jesse Gaskell, who was our special guest.
She doesn't live too far, from me, and we were starving. We went into a Whole Foods because we were like, they have a good food bar.
They do,
but they were shutting everything down, and so everyone that was cleaning up was just ignoring us. So we looked at what was around us, and there was a Panda Express that was 500 feet away and closing in like 9 minutes. So we just booked it over there. And the guys there were even like, so we're closing in like 4 minutes. And we're like, we'll eat really fast. And then we stayed for like 40 minutes.
Past their closing?
Just talking.
Did they just stare at you?
They didn't. They were cleaning. I don't think they cared. But I think that's why I didn't feel bad the next, as bad as I usually do. Because we wolfed down fast food.
That was smart.
Yeah. You didn't eat when you got home?
I think it was too late, so I didn't eat.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I ate.
But
I should have eaten ahead of time. Is what I should.
It was great that Jessie did bring us this balloon that I'm staring at right now because she thought we were having. I did find the text, by the way, that she was referencing.
Okay, so explain to the audience.
Okay, so
who haven't yet signed up for Patreon.
So Jessie was our first guest. I invited her to be our first guest because she's one of our dear friends, and she's very funny.
Yeah.
So I knew it'd be a good episode. And I said, you might want to wear the green dress because she has this very red carpet, fancy green, like full length gown that she bought at some point, I think, because she thought it was so beautiful. And she's like, eventually I'm going to go to an award show.
Yes.
Because she's a professional writer who does go to award shows. And then the pandemic hit and she's never gotten to wear it.
Okay.
And I said, you might want to wear that dress because this is going to be a VIP event.
Oh, Chris, and she doesn't understand sarcasm.
Yeah, I think she does, but
not in text.
I think she thought we were having our 1 year anniversary. So she brought us a big, beautiful gold balloon. She got out of the car with it, and I go, "What's that?" And then she got really embarrassed and didn't want to bring it in.
Oh God,
she's
so
like,
cute.
"Oh my God, I don't want to bring it in." And I'm like, "You have to bring it in.
You're bringing it in.
This is the best." And then so we did sort of make it a 1 year celebration because we had never acknowledged it. I think we were so busy just like making new episodes and booking guests and like promoting the show that we actually never acknowledged
we forgot
it.
that we had a birthday. Well, speaking of Patreon, I want to remind people who have not. First of all, thank you everybody who has signed up.
We're so excited about people being on Patreon, and we're going to list some of our patrons at the end of the show.
Yeah, so listen for your name. But I also want to just refresh people's memory about what it is you get. So for the $3 level, which is called Remain Calm, appropriately, you get you get the newsletter, of course, and you get 10% off our merchandise
forever.
You get, so that's pretty good. I mean, I like a sale. So 10% off.
Who doesn't?
That's going to bring me in. For the $5 a month Patreon level called Assess the Situation.
Yes.
You get, of course, the 10% off and the newsletter, and you get exclusive content, which means we record the show's fat. Mm-hmm. So we cut a lot of stuff out just so that the typical episode of How to Survive is around an hour. Sometimes it goes to an hour 15-ish, but we try to keep it around that. So we have a lot of extra content.
We cannot shut up.
We're loud mouths, and we like the sound of our own voices. Not literally, but in the abstract, we like to hear ourselves talk. So you get all that extra goodness. You get actually what you get is the unedited episode, which has all the extra goodness in it.
We cut out some of our mistakes, and if we say anything too racist.
We have a bell that goes off when we say something too racist.
Exactly.
If we start quoting Dilbert comics.
Oh my God, that guy's the worst.
Is that the funniest self-own, wow. But even in the video, I don't know how much you saw of the video.
I didn't see it at all.
Oh, you didn't see it? You have to watch it.
I just saw the headline about it, and I already knew he was an awful person, and I was like, well, here he goes again, so I didn't even...
Well, he talks about how you have to get away from black people. Those are literally his words.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because they're racist.
Oh, they're the problem.
So you have to get away from them.
Historically, it's not us who have been the problem. Okay, Dilbert.
Didn't he say he identified as black for a long time?
What?
I never heard that.
He tweeted that. I think it was him. He's like, this is why this is all racist. And then this is why I identified as black for several years. And
okay, you're going to have to look that up.
Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah. You're going to have to look that up because I don't know that part. But within that live, it was like a live feed for his YouTube channel or something. I don't know. Does YouTube does live, right? YouTube live.
I think so.
He basically said, well, this is the end. I mean, basically he acknowledged, those aren't the words, but he sort of acknowledged well, I've definitely done my...
He knows.
Yes, except
he has enough self-awareness.
Planned. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, then for the $10 a month level, which is called Seek Shelter, you get, of course, the 10% off merchandise. You get the newsletter. You get the extra lengthened episode with the bonus content, and you get a shout out. Which we will get to at the end of the episode today. We won't be shouting out everybody, but we will start, and then we will eventually get to everybody. And this is what we were alluding to earlier. You get an extra whole episode a month, one extra episode, which is a little loosier, a little goosier, a little more juicier,
a little boozier,
a little boozier, a little boozier.
It's almost, I don't want to say it's OnlyFans, but it does get.
Don't. Not at all.
Guys, I might not know what OnlyFans is.
I think you don't.
But it does get a little, well, rated R.
Yeah. So go to Patreon and look up How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine.
Check it out.
Check it out. And if you are able to, willing, and have your mental faculties in order.
Or if you don't.
Sign up. Okay.
Thank you for that really well done presentation.
Thanks. I liked oral reports when I was in school. I didn't shy away.
Oh, I missed school to not do them.
You're so shy. You're such a little shy buttercup.
I was.
You really are.
I got over it.
You did.
For the most part.
I know you did.
I have another TV question.
Okay.
So I've watched 3 episodes of Poker Face.
Yes.
Love her.
Yes.
I find the show fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm the audience for this kind of mystery show.
Because
you already know.
Like Columbo.
But I don't think that's my thing.
Oh, okay.
I think because you sort of watch her, you're a step ahead of her.
Yes.
And you watch her figure it out.
Right.
And I don't think I like that.
Okay.
I think I like to be surprised.
So you're not a fan of Columbo?
I guess not. I think I saw Columbo a little bit when I was a kid, but I think it wasn't a thing my family watched that much or that I know a lot about. I know him sort of through cultural osmosis.
Yes.
But I thought, well, I already know.
I get it.
I feel a little bored. And
okay, do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
Do me a favor.
Yes.
Do the world a favor.
Thank you.
Watch the episode where there's a band.
Okay.
Like a heavy metal band.
Chloe Sevigny?
Yes, it is
I think
Chloe
that might be
Sevigny.
the next one.
Okay. That was so far, I think, my favorite.
Okay.
So just see if you like that, and if not, then or maybe just watch that and don't watch any more. I get it. If that's not your thing, it's not your thing. I just find it, pleasant and fun.
Yeah.
But that one I particularly liked.
Okay. I'll watch it.
It also weirded me out that they were both in the same thing, because to me they're kind of the same person. Like Natasha Lyonne and Chloe Sevigny. Like, were they in a movie? I don't know. They just both seem to be like coming to prominence at the same time.
Yes.
They're both like indie darling types.
They both seem like art monsters. You know, that they'd
What
be.
is an art monster?
I mean,
I
like,
don't know that word.
They're just like people at these parties that aren't even for actors. You know, we're just like Andy Warhol's in the
Yes.
corner, and he's like, "You're my muse," and she's like,
Yes.
"Of course I am," and she's smoking a long cigarette,
Right.
and then she just throws paint on a wall, and he's like, "That's amazing."
That does sound like who they are in my head.
and
yes.
and they just wear like a sequin top but underpants, and that's it.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
them.
Check out that episode. Okay. Speaking of episodes, we got to get into our episode.
Let's do it.
We are going to discuss how to survive an alligator attack.
I'm so into this. I don't know if you know my weird obsession / fear with alligators. So
Is it similar to my weird obsession / fear with rats?
yeah, maybe.
Okay.
It's hard for me to look at them.
Oh,
Because just looking at them gives me chills.
really?
I mean, luckily, alligators are really never in your house.
Well,
like rats are in my house
Yeah.
currently.
Oh,
So
Fuck. Okay, well, first I'm going to do a little education because I never understood the difference between alligators and crocodiles.
okay.
Alligators are crocodiles, but crocodiles aren't alligators. It's a square.
I don't even know what you're saying right now.
Well, I think crocodile is the largest term,
Okay.
but in any case, alligators are the ones that have the wide sort of trapezoidal snout.
Okay.
Whereas crocodiles have that V-shaped, like,
Longer.
well, it's a V. It's
Okay.
pointier.
Okay.
It's just, you can picture it. It's like a round
Yes.
snout compared to like an almost triangular snout.
Okay.
So alligators prefer fresh water, while crocs tend to prefer salt water or brackish water, which is a combination of salt water and fresh water. Alligators are native to southern United States, like Florida Everglades and China. So that was interesting.
That is.
Crocodiles are found in Africa, Australia, India, Central America, and in the Pacific. So it doesn't say in America. So, but maybe that's just they're brought over or something. An estimated 5 million wild American alligators are spread out across 10 states.
5 million?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
In the southeast and beyond, including parts of North Carolina and even the extreme southeastern tip of Oklahoma.
Ooh.
Louisiana has an estimated 2 million wild gators in a state of about 4.65 million people.
Jeez Louise.
That's like an alligator for every 2.5 people. And they become a half once you feed an alligator.
Yeah.
Florida sports roughly 1.25 million alligators and more than 1,000 American crocodiles. So there are some. And Georgia has about 250,000 alligators. Some of these gators inhabit places where lots of people live, and many others vacation, such as lakes and rivers all across Florida and coastal South Carolina. Yet gator attacks aren't that frequent, and deaths even more infrequent. So that's good.
That is good.
There were 442 unprovoked bite incidents in Florida from 1948 to 2021. And
that doesn't seem like
not that much, no.
I would have guessed, if you asked me, I would have said that was the year, like last year.
Right. And 26 of these bites resulted in people dying, according to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission.
Do you think they're lying, though, to just up their tourism?
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe people don't report it because they're embarrassed.
Yeah, it is kind of embarrassing.
It is. Like, just don't be around them.
Right.
No, it turns out, you'll see they're... Okay, it turns out gators and natural conditions simply aren't that interested in people, according to Kimberly Andrews, a gator and snake expert with a doctorate in ecology from the University of Georgia. We are not their prey. If you think about it, we're quite dangerous to attack.
Oh.
Maybe.
Well, we do fight back.
We have mace.
Mm-hmm. We have alligator spray.
Yeah.
We have sharp nails. Like women now with their nails.
Oh my God, with those nails?
Yes, and their gels, they're not just coming off.
No, they are glued on there.
Yes, look at those things.
They are talons.
Yeah, I'd not want to meet one of those women.
We've got arms and legs. We can stand upright. We can walk. We can swim. We're not a good animal to pick a fight with.
We can poke in the eyeballs.
That's right. Unless they're confronted, they're going to stay on their own turf. Mm-hmm. Education is key to avoiding a bad encounter, Andrew said. Start with knowing when gators are most active. Courtship season starts as spring warms up. Mating extends in early summer, and in Okefenokee Swamp in southeastern Georgia,
that's adorable.
We start to see eggs hatch out starting in September and October. And that's when the females are most protective, when they feel someone is threatening their babies.
Yeah, just like the hippo mom and
that's right.
The bear mom. Many of the moms we've covered.
Right. Your best season is winter. If it's cold, they're not doing a whole lot. Mm-hmm. When temperatures start settling into the 80s, gators become mostly nocturnal. So it's best to avoid that refreshing night dip in unknown waters when it's hot.
Yeah, don't go for a dip in Florida's nighttime waters.
At all, ever.
No.
Unprovoked attacks are rare, Andrew said. People are usually the provocateurs, not the gators. Would you say provocateurs or provocateurs? Provocateurs.
Well, I remember that underwear store in LA?
Agent Provocateur.
That was like, someday I'm going to be so successful that I can go in there and buy lingerie.
And also have the lifestyle in which that would be required.
Right.
Or helpful in any way.
It's ridiculous
Never happened.
that I would ever even have had that thought.
No, I did. I had the exact same thought. It was on Melrose.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was by the Improv, because that's when I remember that's when I worked at the Improv.
That's right.
And I'd have to take the money, the day's earnings money, down to the bank. I walked it.
Oh. Were you tempted to go into Agent Provocateur?
And just blow it all?
Yeah.
And just all on lingerie.
A merry widow. For matching garters.
Exactly. That's what I would go to prison for. No one saw it. And I just wore it.
Is that what Winona Ryder took? Did she take lingerie?
What did she take from Saks?
Was it from Saks?
It was around that time, I think.
It wasn't an acting book. I don't know what she took.
That was such a good slam.
It wasn't. They don't sell acting books at Saks.
It was funny, though. I really liked it. Good dig.
I still like her. I don't think she's great, but I still like her.
I like her. You know what? I'll tell you what. She can act better than I can.
Well, same for me. That's,
but I'm also not trying to get cast. No. Today, maybe tomorrow.
Okay. Unprovoked attacks are rare, Andrew said. People are usually the provocateurs, not the gators. Gators can be disturbed or confused when folks have been known to try to grab them by their tails or go in for a close-up photo of sunning gators.
Oh, who's trying to grab an alligator by its tail?
Guessing a lot of people.
People in Florida?
Yeah, well,
I think it's a whole industry.
It's like a tourism spot called grab an alligator by a tail for a stuffed animal.
Even worse, people will feed them. Then the reptiles start to associate humans with food.
Yeah.
That's what happened with the fucking cats in my backyard.
Yes.
That's when gators can be most dangerous, when they've lost their natural fear or disinterest in people. They're more likely to take the easy way out and get our food than to do the work to fight for it, Andrew said. In areas where we have high rates of tourism, but not a lot of education and oversight of how people are interacting with alligators, we see feeding issues. If you do have a gator encounter, she suggests staying calm and respecting its territory. Say you're kayaking and you see an alligator, just keep going past it. Give it a wide berth. As much as the space will allow. Don't take the paddles and slap the water. Sometimes people do that to scare the alligator off, but you're actually indicating you're a direct threat. I just want to take this moment to say that my only experience with alligators, my closest experience with alligators, is watching the original Muppet movie like 2,500 times.
You've never seen one in the wild?
I don't know. I'm sure I've seen one at like a zoo or something.
Yeah.
Do they have them at zoos?
They do.
I don't know. I know Lyle crocodile, but that's a crocodile.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's got that snout.
Yeah, because it's pointier. Yeah.
He's got a very long, pointy snout.
Yeah. If for some reason they start to swim toward you, usually try to go in the other direction and just show you're not interested.
Bye.
Or paddle right on by and ignore the animal. Also, never mess with the reptile's children.
Don't try to, pet the cute little ones.
Right. We always tell people that those 1-foot baby alligators, even though they're so cute, they're the most dangerous sized alligators to mess with. That's because there's possibly a nearby mother ready to protect her young. More ways to avoid an attack. Don't feed ducks, turtles, or other animals that share waters with alligators. Stay about 60 feet or more away from an adult alligator. If an alligator hisses or lunges at you, you are too close.
I'll stay further. I don't even need... Further? Farther?
Yeah.
Further's right. I'll stay further.
I feel like they'd both be right, but I think it's further. If you're driving, let an alligator cross the road. Why? Because he can. They move across roadways the most often in the spring and summer. Supervise pets and children when you're in gator territory. Large alligators do not recognize the difference between domestic pets and wild food sources. I just thought of that horrible thing that happened at Disney World. Remember?
I don't.
They were at one of the theme parks, branded hotels, and the kid got eaten by an alligator.
Oh, that's awful.
Like that.
That's awful.
The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission also advises never swim outside of posted areas and swim only during daylight hours. Alligators are most active between dusk and dawn. Get rid of fish scraps and garbage cans at boat ramps and fish camps. Don't toss them in the water. You don't need chum for these guys. They're just going to come and bite you thinking you're more...
Your hand is just chum to them.
Experts also advise people to call local or state authorities if you see alligators roaming around neighborhoods and other places you wouldn't expect.
Oh, yeah. You know somebody on Nextdoor is like suspicious alligator.
I think he's black.
Yeah.
Do not try.
It
didn't ring.
There's not a non-white person. It didn't ring.
Do not try to handle the reptiles yourself.
Oh, yeah, I won't.
Okay, here we go. What to do if you're attacked.
Okay.
Heaven forbid you're being attacked by an alligator. Would you know what to do?
I would not.
If the gator is trying to drag you under the water, you have to assume at this point you're fighting for your life and you've got to give it all you've got. We recommend trying to poke them in the eye, hitting them in the top part of the skull or the side of the jaw.
Danielle, now, will you be okay to poke in the eyes? Because I know that's a thing that's hard for you.
It would be really hard, but I guess you got to try.
Got to.
Maybe if you have a stick.
Well, you might not have a stick in your hand. I really want to encourage you to do the eye pokes if you have to.
Is there a way for me to practice this?
Garen?
Get a Jell-O mold or something?
Will you let her practice on you? Take off your glasses.
Do you want me to surgically alter my face so that I do have a long snout?
I don't think you need to. Just take off your glasses.
Okay. Those points are sensitive on alligators, just like they are on us. In a water attack, the danger is more from drowning than the bite.
Oh.
So get to land if possible. We're better on land than they are. They're better in the water. But don't assume all is safe if you're on land, and the alligator has more in its arsenal than a fearsome set of teeth. You can be injured if you're hit by the tail.
Oh.
Gators can also whip around with their skull and use it like a battering ram.
Oh, man. They have a lot of talent.
They are so multi-talented. Well, I know Lyle, crocodile's a crocodile, but he's very talented,
And
too.
what a singer.
He can sing and tap dance.
He sings just like Shawn Mendes.
Oh, I didn't see the... Did you guys see the movie? I forget.
Well, Benji and I walked out of it.
Oh, wow. If you walk a kid, that's like... Did he turn to you and say, Mom, this is enough, or what?
He was like, I don't like this movie.
And Alex had no interest in
She wasn't
going?
there. He and I were having a day together, and he wanted to see it for some reason because it's a little young for him now.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I think he had forgotten for a moment that he does not like singing in movies.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. It's so specific.
It was like they all start singing and dancing, also spontaneously, like a musical.
Yeah, he
so they'll
doesn't
just
like
be
that.
having dialogue, and then the mom will break into song, and he was like, "We're out of here."
So he must not like a lot of cartoons then, too.
Well,
Because a lot...
he loves Bob's Burgers, so
Okay.
he'll tolerate it
And they
in
do,
certain things, but
Did you guys read the book when they were kids?
tons.
Yeah,
he
me
loved.
too.
I think he loved the book, so he thought
The books were so cute.
so
I love them.
good.
Okay. Okay. Where did I go?
They have many talents. Their tails can
Yes.
and heads,
Okay.
battering rams.
Battering rams. Andrews knows firsthand how dangerous that can be. She was part of a capture team once that had a gator taped up and its mouth secured when it unexpectedly whipped its head around. It actually hit me broad with the side of its head across my shins. Ooh. And I blacked out.
She blacked out?
Can you imagine? I can't imagine being hit hard enough in your shins that you would black out. Oh. And I wondered, oh my gosh, did I fracture my shin bone? I had a lump the size of a tennis ball. It is amazing how muscular and powerful they are. The gator used its mouth. Use yours. The gator uses its mouth. Use yours. Scream. Make as much noise as you can. Not only fight back, but make yourself as big and as much a pain in the rear as you possibly can.
I thought I was supposed to be biting the alligator back.
I know. I think it was a turn there. It was a little twist.
But if I have to, I'll bite that
bite
alligator
it
too. I'm not scared.
It's probably like beef jerky.
Yeah, it's probably not even going to feel it.
Yeah. And tell him you're going to make him into shoes and a purse.
Yes.
If people are nearby, they should call 911 for help. If a pole is nearby, someone can beat on the gator and give it another target. Another person in an attempt to rescue you should never come in the water after you and the alligator. They can help you most by being on the ground and helping you get to the ground. Other ways to fend off an attack. Here are some more survival tips from various wildlife departments and other experts. If you can escape on land, run away in a straight line. Experts debunk the advice to zigzag.
Oh, I always thought it was zigzag.
Right? Serpentine.
No.
Gators can move really fast on land, but only in short spurts and distances before they tire out.
Oh, so the zigzag doesn't matter.
Yeah. Try to cause a gag reflex by jamming any objects you can reach into the back of the alligator's mouth. Sometimes a gator will reposition its prey in its mouth with its jaw back open. That is your chance to escape. So it's trying to go like
so
rearrange.
Try to stick a stick in their mouth?
No, that is one thing. But the other thing is that sometimes, like a dog with a bone, they try to get a better grip.
Okay.
So when they open again to get a better grip on you, you escape.
Oh.
Alligators clamp down with powerful jaws, then twist and roll. If an alligator bites your arm, it may help to grab the alligator and roll with it to reduce tearing of the arm. Are you ready for a story?
I am really excited about this story.
Erica Merida's nightmare started on the afternoon of July 17th when the 43-year-old Sarasota resident, who owns an irrigation sprinkler company, found himself with some free time on his hands after completing a job. While heading back home, he spotted a dirt road that he'd never been on and took off down it in his van before deciding to do some exploring on foot. Before long, he was wandering through the dense overgrowth near the Manatee Fish Camp. I was having a good time out in the woods, getting up in the heavy brush, he says. It probably doesn't sound fun to most people, but I'm a Florida boy. After nearly 3 hours of exploring, Merida was thirsty and hopelessly lost. He eventually spotted his van on the other side of the 2-square-mile reservoir that he'd just spent hours bushwhacking around and decided to swim back to it. Merida waded into the water fully clothed but made little progress and soon felt himself being pulled under by the weight of his heavy work clothes. After shedding his clothing, he continued his swim. And that's when he had a sick feeling that something was following him.
Dun dun.
Yep. I looked over, he recalls, and was staring straight into the eyes of a gator that was just a couple feet from me. I tried swimming away from it, but the moment my right arm... I tried swimming away from it, but the moment my right arm came out of the water, it grabbed my forearm from the side. The memory of what happened next is forever seared into Merida's brain. I felt it latch onto my arm, and then the gator pulled me underwater 3 times, trying to drown me. But I wrapped my left arm around it and just kept kicking my feet, trying to get to the surface of the water. Gasping for air, Merida was yanked back underwater one last time as the alligator attempted to violently spin its human victim.
Oh, that's the part that really freaks me out.
Yep. A maneuver known as a death roll.
Death roll.
I like a death roll with a little ginger.
Oh, really?
And some wasabi.
Sometimes, though, they make the death roll so big you can't even fit it into your mouth.
You can't get the chopsticks around it.
No, and don't fry it.
No.
Don't fry a death roll.
In an effort to dismember him. The force of this attack ripped his arm right off.
No.
Between his shoulder and elbow.
Oh, God, it's like a chicken wing.
Yep. That gator swam off with my arm, said Merida.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing about him.
No. That's the point. The bone was sticking out, but it didn't.
No, it wasn't. It was.
No, listen, it didn't hurt that bad at first, probably because of the shock.
Yeah, probably.
Imagine just watching an animal swim off with your arm.
Just a human arm.
Just a human
so
arm.
Unsettling.
He gave up trying to reach his van and swam back to the overgrown shoreline using his good arm.
The one he had.
Yeah. What if the one that the alligator took was his good arm?
Oh,
well, now it's changed.
Yeah,
ranking.
automatically.
Yeah. Miraculously, his stump wasn't bleeding. Once he reached land, he fell asleep in the sawgrass.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a good...
No, don't take a nap now, honey.
No. When the sun rose the next morning, Merida spotted a tree and managed to pull himself up the trunk using one arm.
What?
This is a Florida boy.
Yeah, well, yeah, Florida boys be Floridan.
He shouted. I mean, I would just cry. There's no. I would have
bled out to death.
Yes.
I think. I wouldn't even.
He shouted and waved at the planes flying overhead like King Kong.
Yes.
But it did little good. It felt like the swamp was holding me there, he says.
Oh, gosh.
But I figured I could either stay there and probably die or try to get the hell out of there.
Wow.
Because it seemed hopeless trying to push his way inland through the thorns and thick underbrush, he decided to head back to the water in an effort to wade around the overgrown shoreline and somehow find his way back to where he'd parked his van. At times, he caught glimpses of the eyes of an alligator that appeared to be following him. It would pop out of the water, then disappear and reappear, he says. It was pretty terrifying.
I'll say.
He stumbled upon a concrete pad by the shoreline and decided it would be better to sleep there than in the marsh. For the next 2 days, he continued dragging himself through the thick vegetation, eating purple flowers and drinking the muck and mud-filled swamp water as sharp thorns continually tore into his bare feet and
oh my God.
and flies.
Oh, he's naked.
Yeah, he's naked and he has one arm.
Is he single?
He's single-armed. And flies buzzed around the mangled remains of his arm.
Oh my God.
The pain in my feet. This is my favorite part. The pain in my feet almost took away the pain from my arm.
Whoa.
So, small blessings. By the 4th day, Merida was running out of energy and dragging himself through the underbrush by grabbing onto the branches with his left hand. I could barely move, he recalls. I was running out of water to drink, and everything around me was a wall of thorns. Every time a stick would poke at the open tissue of my wound, I'd scream.
Oh.
I was pretty...
Karen, help.
I was pretty much screaming the whole time because of the pain. Late in the afternoon of the 4th day, Merida spotted an empty beer bottle, and he instantly knew that he couldn't be far from civilization. Thank God for littering.
Right?
Moments later, he peered through the thick foliage and spotted what appeared to be a man climbing into a truck. I started screaming, but he couldn't hear me at first, he recalls. I stumbled and ran toward him. He looked pretty surprised to see this buck-naked guy who was missing an arm waving at him. Within minutes, a helicopter arrived, and Merida, who had lost 15 pounds... Come on,
Lucky.
Some of it's from the arm, though. I mean...
You know, if it was a woman,
I know,
she wouldn't have lost any weight.
Right. Even with your arm gone, you would have somehow gained water weight from being in the water or something.
You would have been bloated.
Yeah. I stumbled and ran toward him. Merida, who had lost 15 pounds during the ordeal, was flown to Sarasota Memorial Hospital. Doctors spent the next 3 weeks pumping him full of antibiotics while removing more bone and flesh from what remained of his infected limb. That gator did what it was instinctively supposed to do, Merida's girlfriend, who declined to give her name.
Because she didn't want to get doxxed on social media.
She's like, I'm with this idiot. I actually don't think he's an idiot. I think he's very, together and smart. But I just thought it was funny that for whatever reason, she doesn't want to be... I'm not... Maybe she's, implicated in more serious stories and doesn't want anyone making the connection.
Maybe she hired the alligator.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like whatever. I'll think of it in a second. But if anyone was going to survive something like this, it would be Eric. He's very, very resilient. Days after his rescue, a trapper removed 2 alligators, one 6 feet long, the other 9 feet long, from the lake. I don't understand why they're removing them. I mean, that they are where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
It could have been either one of them that attacked me, explains Merida. With my luck, it was the 9-foot gator. God never gives me easy challenges.
Wow.
Oh. Despite losing his arm, Merida is convinced that the 4 days he spent fighting to survive in a swamp is one of the best things that ever happened to him.
People always say that.
He hopes to... I'd be like, that was literally the worst thing that's ever happened to me, and I get no positive side from it. He hopes to one day parlay the experience into a career as a motivational speaker. I'm no longer afraid of death, he says, and I bless every day that I'm here. As for his missing arm, Merida, who was recently fitted for a prosthetic, insists that if I could talk to the gator, I'd tell him, you can keep the arm, but give me my hand back. Does he want his hand attached to his elbow?
His stump? Oh,
Yeah.
It's from the elbow down? Or
No,
it's
he
not from
said
the shoulder down.
It was said between the shoulder and the elbow, so like here, mid.
Okay,
mid
so he's got a little bit of a stump.
Yeah, so he
wants a hand on
He
that?
wants like a T-Rex hand,
Or does he want...
or does he want it as a souvenir?
Maybe he wants it, he wants to put it in a frame.
So that was the story of what alligators can do to you.
That was insane. I mean, I don't know how somebody survives for 4 days lost in a... jungle or the Everglades even with having both arms.
He had no equipment. All those, all the previous episodes we've done where it's like, well, bring this and bring that, bring that.
But nothing.
He had nothing at this point. He's naked. He's literally naked, and the elements are naked. He's naked.
He's naked and afraid.
Naked and afraid.
Like the show. And he's eating muck water and some kind of flowers that he apparently knew weren't poisonous.
Purple flowers are somehow
Okay
not
to
poisonous. I don't know.
That's wild.
And yes, no arm, but didn't bleed to death somehow.
I'm wondering if
maybe the infection closed it off. Maybe.
Well, I was going to say, yeah. Okay.
So it didn't, maybe it sort of closed off with pus.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I was thinking
bleeding?
maybe something in the water closed it off. I don't know. I don't know enough to even speculate. But
we've never posited to be experts.
Not at all.
If I could guess, I would assume that the jaw crushed his arm at the end.
Crushed it closed?
And it just mashed it into a whatever of
like a pulpy
flesh.
seal.
Yeah.
It was like when you do that searing material with a searer. You know those things? It's like a hot. It's like a hair straightener, but it's like you're saying that.
Yeah, like cauterized basically.
Yeah, cauterized it.
Yeah, or it just. I mean, if he was bleeding and it bled when it was mashed. And his artery was just stuck together and the blood just kind of sealed over, maybe?
I wish I knew.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a way we can find out.
There probably is.
On the internet, and then maybe we'll find out. And maybe we'll let you guys know what we find out. I don't want to make any big promises.
No. Now, normally that story would have sapped me of all my energy. But, lucky for me, before the show started, we all had some Magic Mind shot. Yeah, not shots, not alcoholic shots.
No.
Shots of Magic Mind, which is this really actually delicious. Well, we had the matcha, right?
Yeah.
It's like a little energy drink, and it purports to like replace caffeine, and it does give you a boost of energy. I do feel quite energized.
Yeah. I feel really awake and not over caffeinated.
No, not like you're spinning out of control.
I don't feel jittery. I don't feel like, I mean, I can have coffee without feeling jittery, but like if I have too much coffee, I get really jittery, and I don't feel jittery at all, but I definitely feel alert. And I also like the taste of this. It's definitely,
I do too.
It's tart. Like if you're a person who likes like citrusy grapefruit.
If you like a pamplemousse.
If you like a pamplemousse.
It does taste grapefruity to me.
Yeah. What do you think, Aaron?
The shape of it reminds me of those shots like you can get that are like for immunity boost and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They're really hard to drink because they're heavy with ginger or some really powerful turmeric or whatever. This is pleasant. I really enjoyed. I would drink it.
Yeah,
a lot. It's very tasty.
Well, you get to because we have more.
Yeah,
good.
And they're very pretty little bottles.
Yeah, I like the waves.
And it's really nice art, and it looks more personal and less like not something you'd find at a gas station, like energy boost.
It has a very zen feel, and also not overly sweet. And I think we have a. We do
have a code. If you go to Magic Mind and you put in How to Survive, pretty easy to remember, you will get a discount that if you get a certain package, it can be like up to 40% off.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
I think it's if you get the case, you get a full 40% off of the case, which is a better deal than the per bottle cost. So we recommend you do that. That's what we did. And so we're going to be drinking more of this.
Yeah. Didn't it upset my stomach? You know how sometimes like if I have juice, you know how sometimes like for a while that was really the thing. Like you get, I guess juice bars are still a thing, and then they put in the shots and stuff, the immunity stuff, and the juice part kind of like upsets my stomach. But this is very soothing and calming and lovely.
There's also no aftertaste. Like it's like one and done basically.
Yeah.
And don't quote me. I mean, quote me, I guess, but I'm not a scientist. But I feel like if I drank this, an alligator would not get the drop on me.
I think you're right.
Mm-hmm. I would get the drop on that alligator.
Yes.
We don't want to.
Such a good point.
We don't want to say you can fight an alligator.
No, don't fight it. You'll just know where it is.
Try.
You'll see it.
You know,
this might help you try.
Yeah,
just saying.
You'll have probably the confidence to fight an alligator.
You will have misplaced confidence. But it says it boosts your energy. I agree. Helps you relax. I agree. Keeps you focused. Mm-hmm. You were actually saying, Garen, because you had it once before, that you felt sort of more focused.
Yeah.
And it helps with immunity. It has vitamin C, D, and echinacea. And like I said, I've had things like this before that just kind of make me sick. But this one, it's very delightful.
Yeah. We like Magic Mind. So if you want to try it, head on over to Magic Mind. Pod How to Survive for your discount.
Yeah. No, not Pod How to Survive. How to Survive for your discount.
Oh, jeez Louise.
That's okay.
Why does anyone listen to me?
And we'll be right back after this.
Yes.
With our guest.
Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
Fall is here, and if you want to sleep in the coziest bed imaginable, you have to start with Boll & Branch's best-selling 100% organic cotton sheets. You'll spend every night wrapped in buttery, breathable softness and feel your sheets get even softer with every wash. Discover the difference with Boll & Branch's 30-night guarantee. Plus, get 15% off and free shipping on your first set of sheets. Visit bollandbranch.com and use code WONDERY15. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Welcome back to How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine.
Hi.
Danielle.
Kristine.
What's happening?
Well, I remembered the show I was talking about, which was Fargo, when I said that the alligator story was sort of reminding me of something. It has that vibe to it.
It really does.
Yeah, of the the girlfriend, like, don't use my name. I don't know.
Yes.
Something sneaky's going on.
She's got her own insider trading. Or
She does, yeah.
something
right.
nefarious.
Something nefarious with coupons or something.
Maybe we'll get to the bottom of it, and that'll be a second podcast we do.
There you go. We'll follow her.
Yeah.
We are so excited because in the first half of the show, we were talking about wrestling with an alligator. And in the second half of the show, we're going to talk about wrestling with Paul Gilmartin. How are you, Paul?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here, and it's nice to meet you. It's nice to see you again. And what is your name, sir?
Oh, it's George.
Oh, George. Very nice to meet you. You look so familiar.
It's Garon.
Garon.
That's what the
Somebody vacationed in France.
That's what the Uber cars say, their phones.
Yeah.
Picking up Garon, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, that sounds fancy.
It does.
I
Yeah.
bet.
I feel like a bourgeoisie or something.
Better put a sweater around my neck.
Oh, and then just fold the ends together. Don't tie it in a knot. Just fold it. Well, you probably know Paul from his podcast, his very successful podcast, Mental Illness Happy Hour, which I have been on.
You were a great guest.
Oh, thank you. My husband has been on. Little known fact. It's not a little known fact. Paul and my husband, Jimmy, are very, very good friends. Paul was in our wedding. I've known Paul for as long as I've known Jimmy, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? As soon as we started dating.
Yeah.
Introduced us, so we are good pals. And Chris is just meeting him for the first time. You will find him as delightful as I do.
That's a lot of pressure.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see.
Paul, how are you?
Have I told you my thoughts on blacks?
Ding, 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 ding. We have a system installed where if you get too racist,
Yes.
that was the warning system.
Yes.
We were talking about.
Do you think Dilbert is happy that his boss got in trouble?
Yeah, I think he's probably really pissed off.
Yeah.
Because now the whole company has gone under.
Oh, that's
Yes.
true.
We were talking about him earlier and his phrasing of "get away from the blacks."
How did he think that was not going to be?
Well, that's what I said. If you watch, I didn't watch the entire thing, but I watched the 5-minute clip or whatever that was online. He acknowledges like this is. There's no coming back from this. I think is what he said. It was not unself-aware. Like, he knew what he was doing. Maybe he's just tired. Maybe he has carpal tunnel. He's just tired of drawing.
Yeah, maybe he's tired of tripping over money.
Yes.
On his way out of the mixed neighborhood.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I've ever read a Dilbert. Is it a whole strip or is it just a one panel?
I think it's several. Several panels.
I think it's a full panel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever read it, so I have no. I just assume it's like sort of some mainstream like
it's
office
9 to
humor.
5 satire.
Right. Anyway, so I think he wanted to get caught, as they say. I think that's the end of him. But I don't know. Well, he did what he did.
Yeah.
So, how are you besides wrestling with poor Scott Adams' career?
I'm doing good.
Crash.
I'm doing good. Yeah. Recovering from shoulder surgery, which is just a pain in the ass.
And wait, Chris, you had shoulder surgery, didn't you?
On both my shoulders.
Yeah. Because of frozen shoulder, right?
Yep.
Is that what you had, Paul?
No, just wear and tear from being an old guy still playing hockey. So, yeah.
When did you have it?
January 25th. So
you just had it.
A month ago, and it was feeling great. And then one night I reached behind me to pull the blankets up.
Oh, don't
and
do
it
that.
felt like somebody shot me in the arm.
Why did you reach for a blanket?
Don't reach.
I'm dumb.
You can't reach for blankets anymore.
Yeah.
Those days are over.
Yeah.
Or at least warm up before you can
The
do something
butler
like
was
that.
off.
Yeah.
And I get very confused when he's not there. Yeah. In fact, he's across the table. Garan. You know Garan. Yeah, my French
That's how
butler.
you're making your extra money.
A lot of hats.
Where were you, Ron?
What is the story here?
So it would have been 1997 or 8.
Okay.
And I was in between the second and third season of doing Dinner and a Movie. And
do you need to explain to people? I mean,
what Dinner and a Movie was?
I'm sure most people know, but just in case.
It was a TV show it was a movie hosting show on TBS that debuted in 1995. And so we would show a movie, and then you would see us in the breaks, maybe 5 breaks throughout the movie, maybe 2 minutes at a time, where we talk about the movie, and I would, a chef was with me who came up with the recipes, and my co-host, who then was Annabelle Gurwitch, and we would cook a recipe themed around the movie that we were showing. And wrestling, WCW, was also on TBS at that point, and so they like to do cross promotions, and it seems like a natural fit.
Sure. Do you like your movies interrupted with food and fake sports?
Sure. It's funny, when I first started doing the show, the first contract was for 16 episodes, and I was like, I'm so annoyed when anything interrupts my movie. This thing is not going to last 16 episodes.
How many years?
16 years.
Jesus Christ, that's amazing.
It was a third of my life when it went off the air. Could not believe it. Which gives you a sense of my intuition with show business.
Right.
Which you can then extend out, but turn the successes into failures.
This is going to go the distance.
Yes. We had on, I'm sure you remember a wrestling guy named Randy Savage, Macho Man Randy Savage. Yes. And so he came on the podcast to promote wrestling. And those guys
came on the show, the TV
I'm
show.
Sorry, not the podcast, the TV show.
Podcasts weren't even an idea back then.
I'm 100.
That's okay. Me too.
So he comes on the show, and those guys are improvisers at heart.
Okay.
A lot of what they do, they have bullet points for what they're going to do, but they ad-lib things.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't even remember what the bullet points were that we had, but, it went very well. Everybody was happy, and the whole goal of the thing was we wanted more male viewers because our demographic skewed female. They were happy with that, but they wanted to add
because you're eye candy.
That's right. People love fat heads and pasty face with glasses.
Oh, that's right. You were wearing glasses.
I was wearing glasses then. So they came up with the idea, well, why don't we do a cross promotion where we go on a wrestling event? And I think a lot of guys, when they were kids, kind of got into the whole wrestling thing and the characters, and boys have so much physical energy and aggression, and so I was like, oh, that sounds kind of fun. I had no idea what it was going to be, and to give some backstory. Within the WCW, there was this storyline that a group of the guys went Hollywood and started their own splinter group called NWO, New World Order. And they wore black, and they, were full of themselves. And Randy Savage was one of these guys. So, it was a way to just create more drama within the shows that they would do, which are typically in, 4,000 plus seat arenas.
Right.
And so they said, well, pitch any ideas that you might have. And so I thought, well, it might be funny if I shoot my mouth off and right before I get my ass kicked, Randy comes in and saves me.
Okay.
So they said, yeah, that sounds good. We'll pitch it to him. So we fly to Nashville and meet with the head of it, who is this cranky guy named Eric Bischoff. He says, so what's the idea? And I was like, I thought it was approved. And I said, well, we're going to do this and that. And he's like, no, we don't do comedy. on this show.
We don't do comedy.
What? I thought the whole thing was
I thought
comedy.
the whole thing was like.
Which was my thought exactly.
Oh my God! I mean, I thought some of it was, and I'm not a wrestling fan. I don't watch it. I thought some of it was intentionally sort of. I mean, I know some of it's supposed to be dramatic.
Yes.
I thought some of it was intentionally.
My thought exactly.
Tongue in cheek. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think WCW was supposed to be the edgier wrestling at the time. Because
Yeah?
WWF was like the family whatever one, and then WCW came out. We're harder, we're
I
edgier.
gotcha.
And was Annabelle with you?
No, it was
just-
Claude and I.
So Claude was the chef.
Right.
Okay.
So we're sitting backstage, and everybody's looking at each other like, what are we going to do? And I said, well, I didn't fly here from Los Angeles to turn around and go back home. And Randy Savage is sitting in there, and he goes, you could take the diamond cutter.
What?
And I go,
I'm so scared.
and I go, what's the diamond cutter? He goes, oh, brother. Your phone's going to be ringing off the hook. What are you talking about? So there was this character who was, excuse me, I got a cough. Just doing his voice is so hard. There was a character named Diamond Dallas Page who was 6'7", 280, and he was not with the NWO.
Okay.
And so the idea would be that I would shoot my mouth off and I would take the diamond cutter. The diamond cutter is a move where he walks up to you. He pretends that he's turning away from you and walking away. He reaches behind himself, wraps his arm around your head, and then jumps up and falls to the ground.
Oh, okay. I can picture it.
And so it looks like your head is taking the full weight of everything. And so he says to the Diamond Dallas Page, comes in there, and he says, you won't get hurt if you just go with me. If you just throw your feet up in the air, and because he goes, my arm will take the brunt of it.
Okay, because he's going to fall on his own arm.
He's going to fall on his own arm. So we practice it once or twice in the spring-loaded cage.
Okay,
or,
okay.
A ring. Hurt like fucking hell. And we're going to do it on a little set-up cooking kitchen that has no give to it. Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God.
So where did it hurt? Was it like your head hurt?
My arm. Mostly.
Okay. Is this what happened to your shoulder?
It's starting to make sense.
Yeah.
We thought about that.
Making some connections.
Yeah.
So, I'm sitting backstage with Claude, and so the gist of it is going to be that Claude and I, they throw to us, in a break, and here are our guests from dinner and a movie, and they're cooking a recipe, and so we're cooking a recipe, and Gene is the guy who's the announcer, so he's interviewing us, and we start, and this is all part of it. We start insulting him, and he's like, this is, I'm not going to stand for this. What is going on? And I start calling out Diamond Dallas Page, and he comes storming out. So I'll pause the story there, but that's where it's supposed to happen. He's gonna the line that I will say is, you wouldn't hurt a guy with glasses, would you? And then he's gonna throw the diamond cutter on me. So we're standing backstage, sitting backstage, sorry about the noise. And it's, I don't know, hour or two. And Claude is very supportive. He's saying, walk around, use your legs while you can.
Oh, my. Hilarious.
And they come up to me, the people that run the wrestling event, and they go, we forgot to tell you, when the audience gets riled up, they throw coins and batteries.
No.
Batteries?
Wait, no.
Yes, coins and batteries.
Oh, my God.
That's allowed? They can't stop it.
They can't stop it.
Right, okay.
Yes. So if you look, there's a YouTube video of this.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'll give you guys the link to it. So when you see about, I don't know, halfway through it, if you look, there's an apron hanging on the back of the set, and you can see it a couple of times puff because something is hitting it. So I'm just Going, well, I'm doing it for the show. We got to get more male viewers.
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
I'm being a good employee.
You are such a team player.
It might be fun. But of course, a narcissist and maybe like 4,000 people are going to see.
Right.
You know. And so I'm just pacing back and forth, and I'm like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? So they introduce us, ladies and gentlemen, and before I even get my foot out of the curtain, I hear this guy yell, "You're dead, cooking boy!"
Yes. Oh my God.
So.
Oh no.
So we get out there, and you know it's Claude, and Claude isn't going to take any abuse. His thing is just, you know, he's making the dish with me. He's insulting Gene with me, and the reveal is after we insult Gene, we've both got chef's coats on. We rip them open, and we've got NWO T-shirts on, and that ignites the crowd. Half of whom love the NWO, half of whom hate the NWO.
Okay.
You know, Gene is, you know, quote unquote insulted, storms off. I'm there calling out Diamond Dallas Page. He comes out there, and he doesn't tell me that he's going to do this, but he starts tearing apart the kitchen.
Oh no!
Throwing shit, rips the 200-pound counter off.
Are you kidding?
The island, throws it, and you could see Claude and I reacting like children, terrified children whose father has come home drunk. There was no acting in that, and so you know he confronts me, and I say, "Come on, you wouldn't hurt a guy with glasses," and he does the thing, and my glasses explode.
Oh my God!
My arm is bleeding. But he said, "Your adrenaline is going to be so jacked up, you won't feel anything." And I truly didn't until hours later. But so then the part of the plan of it is I lay there, and just before they cut to commercial break, they come out and pull me off on a stretcher. Right, okay. And the announcer says, "I don't think Paul Gilmartin's going to make the third season of Dinner in a Movie." So, and we had a, I don't know, I can't remember why. It was a celebratory cake for something, but I'm laying there on the ground, and again, Diamond Dallas Page didn't tell me he was going to do this. I'm sure he was just improvising, picks the cake up and throws it on my head.
No. Oh my God.
So I don't have a change of clothes, so now I'm backstage. I'm covered with cake.
Oh, ew.
And I've got a shower now. And so imagine, like in the shower are the guys who have previously wrestled, roided out, 6'5".
Sweaty.
I was like a freshman in high school again. Just like, oh my God.
And weren't you already like tiny in high school?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So this is just like...
This is just a flashback to the humiliation of my body in high school. And... but they were really cool. And one of the guys, Steve McMichael, who was a Chicago Bear during their heyday when they won the Super Bowl. So he was a guy that like...
Super Bowl Shuffle?
Yes.
Oh my God.
From that era,
so
he was a character.
Artist too.
And he congratulates me on how well I took the diamond cutter, and I was like, from then on, it was all worth it. And so I get dressed.
Did they give you extra clothes, I hope?
No, I don't remember. I think I just put my cake-covered clothes back on. I don't remember. Maybe they give me an NWO shirt. I'm sure they did. But everybody was happy because we're going to get more
men,
more male viewers.
Yeah.
I get home, I check my email, and the first email I get is, "Dude, I saw you on WCW taking the diamond cutter. You are a pussy."
No.
And he didn't say pussy. He used the F word.
Oh.
F-A.
Oh, got it.
Fully spelled. Not three letters.
No asterisks.
No asterisk. And
But wait. What did that?
And I couldn't hold a pen for 3 days.
What?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yeah, my arm was fucked up. Yeah, but
no.
I would never fire up a clip of my stand-up or the TV show and say, you got to watch this. But people come over to my house and I go, you got to watch this.
So was that the general consensus of the fans? Was that you were a wimp, shall we say?
I don't think so. I think some people were like, yeah, that was great. You know, he's a sport for taking it. There wasn't really a forum for me to find out. I didn't really watch it. But today, if people ever talk about, who are the members of the NWO, somebody will always chime in. Paul Gilmartin is an honorary member, and it'll get comments on YouTube sometimes, that clip. But
so, of course, the big question is, did you get more male viewers as a result of this?
I don't even know.
Oh,
I don't even know.
It's an amazing story, though.
I doubt it. And then his wife, Diamond Dallas Page's wife, came on 2 years later and did some kind of move on me that hurt even more than the one that he did. Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't even remember what the move was, but so...
So it does hurt.
It does hurt.
And it probably hurt more on the set than it did on the spring-loaded ring.
Yeah, it definitely did.
I mean, 6'7", you got to reach really far back.
This guy was so...
Oh, my God.
Big.
Do
So big. Oh, when he said to me, if you try anything funny, I'm going to get real on you.
That wasn't real.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, put on a... Groucho glasses and what would you do that would be trying something funny?
Go and try to tackle him or something.
Yeah,
something off script.
No surprises from you.
No.
He was the only one who could have surprises.
No, he just goes, put your face where your feet were and you'll be okay.
Oh my God. Did you have any lasting
No.
pain? Okay,
no, after
good.
about 3 days, I was able to start using a pen.
That was scary.
It just hit him 20 years later.
Right, the shoulder. Oh my God. I hope it was TBS, right?
TBS.
Yeah. I hope TBS was happy with you and pleased.
I probably earned some brownie points.
I hope so.
From doing that.
Oh my God.
That's an amazing story.
I'm so grossed out by food on people that probably would be more upsetting to the cake on me and in my hair would be more upsetting to me than like bashing my arm.
Yeah.
That is so great.
And if you're going to throw food on me, throw a fruit pie.
I'm
a pie guy.
You're a pie guy, so you prefer the fruit.
Cake, what an unnecessary amount of sugar. I want that on my tombstone.
Okay. What an unnecessary amount of sugar?
Yeah, if you're going to have sugar, have a nice fruit pie.
What is your favorite fruit pie?
Probably strawberry rhubarb or tart cherry.
Sounds good. Yeah, I don't like cherry pie. I don't like anything cherry.
We're done.
Yeah,
I
know.
Done.
Paul, I'm so glad we finally had you on.
Yeah,
it was a fantastic story. It's so funny. He's dead. What was the quote?
You're dead, cooking boy.
You're a dead cooking boy. Love it. So they knew who you were. That's nice.
Yeah, I guess. They must have.
I want to see that on a T-shirt with Paul's head in a head, like in a big muscular arms headlock.
Yes,
with just
his glasses shattering.
Yeah, and his face scared. You're dead, cooking boy.
All right, we will be right back with what did we learn today?
Want to teach your kids financial literacy, but not sure where to start? Greenlight can help. With Greenlight, parents can keep an eye on kids' spending and saving, while kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and more. It's a convenient way to run your household, customized to your family's needs, and the easy way to raise financially smart kids. Get started with Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This podcast is brought to you by eHarmony, the dating app to find someone you can be yourself with. Why doesn't eHarmony allow copy and paste in first messages? Because you are unique, and your conversations should reflect that. eHarmony wants you to find someone who will get you. How are you going to know who gets you if people send you the same generic conversation starters they message everyone else? Conversations that actually help you get to know each other. Imagine that. Get who gets you on eHarmony. Sign up today.
Chris?
Yes?
Are you ready to learn what we learned today?
Teach me.
Don't forget all the fun you get with Patreon.
I won't.
Last year, in response to an Elon Musk tweet, Scott Adams tweeted, "I've been identifying as black for a year and no complaints yet. Makes sense in my case. I've lost 3 jobs because of racist white bosses who discriminated against me, and approximately half of all white people hate me. Black people treat me better on average. All true." Wow, what a fucking idiotic... Are his strips that pithy? Like he can't even follow the...
Can we get him banned from
just writing
everything?
Alligators and crocodiles are different species, though both come from the crocodile order. They're both unique in the size, color, and shape of their snout. Winona Ryder, the actress whose 6-day shoplifting trial drew national attention and stirred tabloid frenzy, was found guilty of grand theft and vandalism for walking off with more than $5,500 worth of designer goods from Beverly Hills department store Saks. So we don't know what the actual goods were, but they were goods.
Mm-hmm. They were good goods.
They were good goods.
Designer goods.
Designer goods. Respect the gator's home. You will be lunch. Don't mess with the babies. Mom will come for you. If an alligator pulls you into the water, fight like hell. You will likely drown before the gator kills you. So that's what you're going to die of, drowning, not chompings. Run as fast and as far as you can away from the gator. Do not zigzag. A gator can and will swim off with your arm. Hopefully it's the one with your Apple Watch on so it can track its location. That's so smart, Garen. Thank you for that tip.
So buy an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
If you don't have one.
I mean, 2 just to be safe.
That's true.
Yeah.
You don't know which arm.
You think, yes. And also you might want one so you know where you are.
So you can get to safety.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
We didn't touch on this within the core of the episode, but you have a relative who recently experienced proximity to an alligator, yes?
Well, I don't know the story yet, so I'm gonna.
Your little tease.
I'm gonna get this is a tease. I'm gonna try to get the information for next week's episode. But my brother and his girlfriend just returned from Florida, where I was told by my dad they were going so that Amanda could wrestle an alligator, and I was like, okay. Like I of course had some follow-up questions, but I didn't question it. I took it at face value. And so then I texted my brother and said, did Amanda wrestle an alligator in Florida, or was Dad just saying that, getting the wrong information? He texted me back and said, we went hunting in Florida and she hunted an alligator. And I got a picture of her with her kill, smiling, of an alligator, and he hunted a boar.
Okay, I saw these pictures, but I didn't know out of context.
I sent the pictures to Danielle to show her. I'll show you too, Garen. And if they give me permission, I'll include them in the newsletter. But I do think that boar are considered an invasive species, so they encourage hunting them because of that reason. And you can eat them, and they're delicious, probably, like as bacon is. But I don't know if alligators are also encouraged to be hunted there as an invasive species, because they have that campaign. I know this from watching Killing It, which is a show I think was underrated and I loved it. A sitcom on Paramount. I always want to say Peacock, with Craig Robinson and that actress I think is so funny.
The Australian
Thank you.
lady.
Something Claire something. Anyway, where they have you hunt. I'm going off the rails. Am I crashing?
I think you're crashing. You're catching what I was throwing down.
They hunt the big pythons, and for money.
Yeah.
It's a contest. Right. Like they encourage people to go hunt pythons. Anyway, so I don't know what this story is.
Oh, because they're invading. They're invading. Like
they're not
Florida
supposed to be there.
Yeah,
and they're so invasive that they're like paying people to go hunt them.
Right, but you don't know if that's what your brother and sister-in-law or girlfriend.
His girlfriend, yeah. I mean, I want more details.
Yes.
I don't know if she was like, listen, I've always wanted to go wrestle an alligator. And he's like, well, you can't, but you can go hunt one. Or if she was like, if my dad got the information wrong, like I
want to know what they did with the alligator afterward.
Yeah, did they eat it? Is she going to get a handbag and a pair of matching shoes?
Right.
And then they turned the rest into jerky and meat? Because you can eat them. I mean, I ate crocodile when I was in Australia. I don't think it was alligator because I think it's crocodiles they have in Australia. Yeah. And it's fine. It's like tastes a little bit like chicken. And so you can order it at restaurants in some places of the world. I want more information. I think we all deserve more information about this story.
I think we need it
so I
want it.
texted her on the way here, and she wasn't available, but she said she was happy to give me all the details.
Oh.
So I'm going to get them for us because I think we all want to know.
This is a nice little tease.
So next week, I'm going to have information about this.
Okay, so before we go, we're going to name some of our Patreon subscribers.
We're going to give them the shout out they deserve. I want to thank our patrons.
Yeah.
Who have been so wonderful to us.
Absolutely.
First of all, Clorinda Valente.
Oh my God, that's the best name I ever heard in my life. Clorinda?
Clorinda?
Clorinda. Clorinda.
Clorinda Valente. Okay. First off, thank you for being a subscriber and having the best name.
Yeah.
Tim Paul.
2 first names. Not a fan, but okay.
You know what? Thanks for keeping it simple, Tim.
Yeah, Tim. Signed up for.
Maria Giacchio. Now, I'm sorry, Maria. I think it's Giacchio, but if it's Giacchio, it's not. 2 C's in Italian, it's Giacchio, right?
Could it be Giacchio?
It could be Giacchio. You know what, Maria? Let us know.
We don't know, but it's beautiful.
It's
regardless.
beautiful.
It's not like
and
this Tim Paul nonsense.
Tim, we love you. Don't let Danielle just keep insulting you like that. You know what? You can just don't laugh. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Don't laugh at her insults. No. We get a insult from Danielle is like it's a gift.
It's like a rose from a bachelor.
Yeah, it is. It really is. You've been given a rose, Tim.
That's right.
Next off, we have Anthony Sanchez. Or
Okay.
Sanchez. Anthony Sanchez.
Nice.
Wonderful name. Anything to say?
I love it. I think maybe Tony Sanchez would sound even better, but I actually really like the name Anthony.
Yeah.
I really like that. I like Tony too, but I like when people go by their full names. I always think it almost always sounds better.
Yes.
Not always, but I very much like Anthony.
It's a good, strong name.
It's a strong name.
This is the perfect time to tell you my full name.
Oh no, Garanovich?
Garandipity.
Garandipity.
Yeah.
Garandipity.
He said it with such a straight face that I got to tell you, for a half a second,
I believed
bought
him.
into
I believed it myself for a second.
You believed it yourself? Garandipity.
Based on the fact that his parents had a leather and lace themed wedding.
That wasn't his parents. That was his
my mom.
Oh, your mom and your
her
stepdad.
Second
Yeah.
husband. Yes.
Second husband. You don't have to refer to him as stepdad. I was like, Garandipity, yep, I buy it.
Did you come up with that off the top of
Literally
your head?
just now.
That
It
was
just
brilliant.
That was great.
Popped into my head.
Garandipity
That was
is
brilliant.
Guys, it's the magic of Magic Mike.
Yes.
It's the drink.
That joke.
And final thanks go to Steph Anderson.
Steph Anderson, another solid name.
Solid name. We have a lot more patrons to
Yeah.
thank in our Assess the Situation tier.
Yes.
And we're going to get to you. Don't worry. We just didn't get to you on this episode because we can't make 3-hour episodes, you guys.
Right. Because we have 3 hours worth of names to read.
So
Maybe one day.
we're going to get to you.
We're getting there.
And we're going to get to you. We're going to get to... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Your Seek Shelter tier. Not Assess the Situation.
Oh, yes.
Seek
Shelter is the third tier.
Danielle cannot wait to make fun of your name.
Look, it was just the one.
No.
The first, having 2 first names always throws me a little bit.
So if you have 2 first names, you might want to think about changing your name now and then submit the paperwork, go to the courthouse, get your new name turned into us in time by maybe next week. I don't know, because I don't know if you're coming. Who knows? It's a gamble at this point.
Maybe Timothy Paul. I'm just suggesting. Maybe you want to go by Timothy Paul. Timothy Paul. Like the whole name.
Don't ever call him Timothy.
I love the name Timothy.
Timothy
Chalamet.
It's fine. Tim is fine too.
I liked him. I
Tim's
dated a guy named
solid. Tim. Have I ever dated a Tim? Oh, it's going to take a couple minutes. Hold on.
Probably.
It seems like I would have. I don't think so, though.
No.
All right. Well, anyway, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Until next time, remain calm.